everyone, welcome to my channel. Bonjour et bienvenue. I'm so glad to see you today for another vintage review perfume. And yeah, I'm so happy to see you today. So today we are going to talk about very beautiful perfume. Yeah, I was very quiet these days, but believe me, I was looking for some new treasures, new perfume. I'm always, on the search of very beautiful vintage perfume you never heard about. All perfume from the 80s, the 90s. And today I have some new treasure for you, new discoveries. Some of them are really new. I didn't have really time maybe to wear them. But I will make a video, yeah, probably the next week about my favorite night perfume. My favorite perfume I wear on a date. And some of them are included in this video, by the way. But today we are going to talk about elegance, sophistication, mythic, iconic vintage perfume. Some perfume are also discontinued. So today we are going to talk about elegance, sophistication, mythic, iconic perfumes. Some of these perfumes are discontinued, meaning you might find them on eBay, but they are not produced anymore, and it's really a shame because these perfumes are beautiful. They're very elegant, very distinctive, very refined. Believe me, when you enter into a room, if you enter in a restaurant, a room, believe me, everybody's gonna notice you, everybody's gonna smell you, and never forget you. But it's a shame, it's really a shame, but we are here we are here to rediscover all these beautiful perfumes so you can wear this beautiful perfume. Yes, today there's a lot of new discoveries. I can't wait to show you what I found. So let's start. First perfume I'm gonna start is a very iconic, mythic perfume. Unfortunately, this perfume is not selling anymore, meaning it's completely discontinued. You might find this perfume on eBay, but it's a mythic 80s perfume from Paco Rabanne. I'm not a big fan of Paco Rabanne at all. I'm gonna say I'm not a fan at all of the new Paco Rabanne. I think Paco Rabanne is a perfect example of why I like to go back to vintage perfume, because the new Paco Rabanne, Million, XS, New Million, all this new perfume of Paco Rabanne, I found them horrible. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I remember my brother, he was, wearing, when he was young, when he was a teenager, he was wearing this Million Paco Rabanne perfume. I find it horrible, I don't like it, it's very loud, it looks very cheap. But unfortunately, I'm a big fan of the old vintage Paco Rabanne. Paco Rabanne during the 80s, the true Paco Rabanne, before Paco Rabanne, starting to be obsessed with money and this new trend, this new very loud perfume for Paco Rabanne. It's really a shame. So Paco Rabanne is really a good example of why I like to go back to the old vintage perfume. And there's a huge difference between the old Paco Rabanne and the new Paco Rabanne. Probably also, the most iconic chypre ever from the 80s, and it's exactly in the same family than Claude Montana, Parfum de Peau. I made a video about Claude Montana perfume Parfum de Peau, which is also another mythic, iconic 80s perfume. My mother, when she was young, she was a big fan of Claude Montana, and also she was also wearing this type of perfume. And this one is also an iconic 80s. Okay, if you're a big fan of the 80s perfume, or if you ask your mother, she's gonna know this one, and there's a lot of chances that she was wearing this perfume. So this perfume is La Nuit by Paco Rabanne. Beautiful, beautiful bottle, beautiful perfume. So La Nuit means in English the night. So just the title of this bottle, you can tell or you can guess this is an iconic, mythic perfume, and it's definitely a night perfume. So it's really into the same family of also Magie Noire by Lancôme, you know, dark Magie Noire, dark magic by Lancôme. It's a very, very provocative, very animalic, very, very elegant Chypre perfume. Iconic perfume. Definitely when I smell this perfume, I was like blown away by, you know, by the elegance of this perfume. There's nothing to do compared to the new Paco Rabanne. It's really a shame for Paco Rabanne, to be honest with you. I will never wear a new Paco Rabanne perfume, but this one is really a dream into a bottle. So La Nuit de Paco Rabanne. I also check, because it's something I like to do, I also check the advertising of this perfume in the 80s, and the advertising is also very, very beautiful. So it's in the same, you know, same aesthetic of Jean-Louis Scherer. It's a beautiful woman in New York. She's in a balcony in New York. She wears a beautiful black dress, and you can only see the back of this woman, and the black dress is open in the back. And she's, you know, very beautiful brush, beautiful hair, very beautiful blow dry. And the title of this advertising say, it's the night in Paris, it's the night in San Francisco, it's the night in Hong Kong, it's the night in New York, and it's the night of Paco Rabanne. It's a beautiful advertising, and it's really, really a very, very good night perfume, beautiful date perfume, to be honest with you. And we're gonna smell this treasure. So like I said, it's a very animalic perfume, exactly like Magie Noire, exactly like Jean-Louis Scherer, exactly like Montana, very animalic perfume. We are really into, I'm gonna say, a woody, liver green Chypre, a very beautiful Chypre family. So there's also a little bit of flower notes, but it's a beautiful, beautiful Chypre. And you're gonna smell probably more the liver, the mossy, the woody notes, blended with green and floral fragrance. So this one is a beautiful, beautiful perfume, to be honest with you. So let's smell this beautiful perfume. And I also want to mention, like I said, so this perfume is discontinued. Paco Rabanne does not produce this perfume anymore, but you can find some bottle on eBay, Etsy. Yes, it's a little bit expensive because, like most of the discontinued perfume, you know, it's more expensive because these perfumes are not produced anymore. It's the case, for example, for Christian Lacroix perfume. But believe me, if you are like me, a perfume lover, perfume collectioner, and you're looking for a perfect, you know, very unique night perfume, this perfume is really worth the spend, worth the money, believe me. It might be also my next vintage purchase. I'm looking for a big bottle. So the small bottle is exactly like the big bottle. There's also, be careful because there's also eau de toilette version and eau de parfum version. Go definitely for the eau de parfum. The eau de parfum is more intense, it's darker, intense, it's probably more, yeah, the sillage is more long lasting. So definitely go for the eau de parfum for this one because it's a night perfume and you want an intense fragrance, a long lasting sillage, you want people to smell you, especially your dates. So go for the eau de parfum version and not the eau de toilette. This is my recommendation. So let's smell this beautiful perfume now. I'm gonna put this perfume on my skin. There's no way I can put this perfume on a paper. I was super lucky. I got also a vintage version from the 80s, so I'm super lucky to get this version. I definitely reminds me, you know, a combination of Magie Noire, Jean-Louis Scherer and Claude Montana at the same time. This is incredible. This is really an 80s perfume, the perfect chypre, very intense, very well constructed. This is really the great Paco Rabanne, not the cheap one, the really great Paco Rabanne. So the top notes are really a little bit green, but because I got a vintage version, I don't really smell the top note, to be honest with you. The top notes are supposed to be Artemisia, tangerine, basil, bergamot, and the Amalfi lemon. I really love Amalfi lemon. Okay, there's probably 10 types of lemon notes, and the Amalfi lemon, the Italian lemon, is definitely my preference. I love Amalfi lemon. And so this vintage version is more intense, and I smell more the middle notes and the base notes. So the middle notes are blended with like white honey, so I really smell the white honey, I smell the rose, I smell a little bit the peach, the jasmine, the pepper, so I smell more the rose and the white honey combination. And the base of this perfume, there's a little bit of vintage powdery, which I really like. But the base of this perfume is super animalic, super animalic. That's why it's a very good night perfume. So I smell the civet. You know, the civet was really the principal, you know, the main ingredient of an animalic perfume. We call it the civet. And that's why I love this vintage version, because now the civet notes are forbidden. You can't put civet note anymore into the, you know, the new perfume. And in this perfume, because it's a vintage version, you have the true civet note, you know, the real civet, the real animalic notes. And I definitely smell it on my hand. This is so powerful. That's why I love vintage perfume, you know, just because of that. Because some ingredients in the vintage perfume are already, you know, the forbidden. You can't use civet because it's an animal, it's produced from an animal, it's not synthetic, it's produced from an animal, the civet. So it's super intense. I smell the oak moss, I smell the liver, and you know how much I love liver fragrance, liver notes. I smell the patchouli, I smell a little bit of woody notes, probably amber, and I smell the Virginia cedar. Oh my god, this perfume is incredible on my skin. So my recommendation also, this perfume is super intense because of the civet. So be careful with the spray, don't overspray. And to be honest with you, it's very powerful, very long lasting. I'm pretty sure that even I wash my hands, I'm gonna still smell this perfume. So I think 3-4 spray no more on the, you know, on your hair and your skin is enough. This is an incredible night perfume. If I have to rank, you know, Jean-Louis Scherer, Claude Montana, so Parfum de Peau by Claude Montana, Magie Noire, and this one, I will probably go for Jean-Louis Scherer and La Nuit by Paco Rabanne. This is definitely very nice perfume, incredible perfume. And what I like about this one, because for me Parfum de Peau is a little bit too much I don't smell the rose in Parfum de Peau by Clone Montana, but in this one I smell very much the rose. I really like the white honey. It's a very rare also ingredient into perfume to put white honey, for example. So it gives a little bit of more sweet, feminine touch. Parfum de Peau is too dry for me, a little bit too dry. But for some women, it's a perfect perfume for some woman. I need more rose, I need more little bit, more feminine touch. Incredible perfume. Incredible perfume. I really recommend La Nuit de Paco Rabanne. This is an incredible perfume. If I have to define this perfume, so it's definitely a masterpiece, a Chypre masterpiece. So if you love Chypre perfume, you definitely need this perfume on your cabinet. Or at least you should try at least this one, maybe a small version like mine. This is a very dark, sensual, seductive, feeling, very sexual perfume, to be honest with you, very sexual. It's really like, for me, it's a night of, sex, love, labor. It's a beautiful, very seductive perfume. And yeah, when I read the comments on Fragrantica, they all like, this perfume is a masterpiece, it's an iconic Chypre. And I picture for this perfume, I picture very long, beautiful silk night dress, super long, with some space, so when you walk, the dress, expand when you walk. It's super elegant. It's like, the Yves Saint Laurent 80s dress, super elegant, with high heels, beautiful Italian shoes, and this perfume on your dress and on your skin. This is definitely a night perfume, a beautiful one. And to be honest with you, I can't stop to smell this one right now. There's something, it's definitely the civet. That's why there's a huge difference between animalic modern perfume and animalic vintage perfume, just because of the civet. And because there is this true, old vintage civet ingredient in this perfume, it's super it's super attractive. So definitely a magnetic perfume, and I'm on the hunt for a vintage bottle so I can wear this perfume for my next date nights, so I can also test, how civets can be attractive, to be honest with you. But I really love this perfume, beautiful masterpiece, beautiful masterpiece. So the next one I'm gonna show you, it's totally different. It's a beautiful perfume, beautiful iconic perfume too, but different vibe, different word, different time, different occasion to wear this one. Totally different. This is more my day perfume, by the way, and I started to show this perfume on Instagram. And I was looking for a new perfume to replace my Lily of the Valley by Van Cleef & Arpels. You know how much I love white flowers, and especially Lily of the Valley. Lily of the Valley is really my favorite flower fragrance when it comes to perfume. I'm obsessed by Lily of the Valley, and I'm always on the hunt for new perfume. Unfortunately, the Lily of the Valley by Van Cleef, which is a beautiful perfume, probably the most pure Lily of the Valley I ever smell. This perfume is discontinued. I was able to get a bottle, like a last bottle online a few years ago. And I'm saving the few, my bottle, I'm really saving it. But I'm on the hunt to replace this perfume from Van Cleef & Arpels. And I was remembering you know, when I was searching online, I was remembering this perfume I used to wear few years ago. I discovered this perfume really randomly, probably because when I was at the Galeries Lafayette, probably, you know, one day or another, probably also at the airport. I love to discover new perfume at the duty-free airport. It's a good place to find new perfume. And I remember this one, and you know, I saw some sale on Sephora, and I decided to buy this one. And yeah, when I smelled this one, I was amazed by this perfume. So this perfume is Diorissimo by Dior. Beautiful bottle, beautiful perfume. And you have to know something also, is that Lily of the Valley was also the favorite flower of Christian Dior. He used to put Lily of the Valley in every show. Every show, the Christian Dior model was wearing a bouquet of Lily of the Valley, and he also used a lot of Lily of the Valley in his perfume. So also that's why I love vintage Christian Dior perfume, because it was the favorite flower of Christian Dior. And in the new perfume, the new Christian Dior perfume, you know, you don't have Lily of the Valley as much. So that's why I usually love the old version of Christian Dior perfume. So Diorissimo, it's an old perfume. I didn't get a vintage bottle, but it's an old perfume, and the perfume was launched in 1956, so it's definitely a 50s perfume. And Lily of the Valley, jasmine, white flower, they were really en vogue, you know, meaning they were super trendy in the 50s. And it's also the signature of French perfume. You're gonna find a lot of white flowers in Chanel perfume, probably more yellow flowers, but in Christian Dior you're gonna find a lot of also white flowers, and it's really, you know, it's typical of all the French perfume. And this perfume smell divine. It's divine. It's really divine. It's in the same family as, for example, you know, Florissimo by Creed, for example, which was also the Grace Kelly perfume. It's less expensive because Creed perfume tend to be very much expensive, but it's divine. It's exactly in the same family as, you know, Creed and Florissimo. So you're gonna find a lot of Lily of the Valley in the middle note and also in the base notes, and you're gonna find different type also of white flowers, lily, narcisse, iris, jasmine. Okay, a lot of combination of white flower, but in this perfume, Lily of the Valley is super present, super intense. That's why I love this perfume, and this is my day perfume. I can wear this perfume also at work. It's a very feminine version. It's not, you know, it's not make you uncomfortable. It's very feminine, and Lily of the Valley, I think it's really a flower, a fragrance that you can also wear at work, because it's super feminine but doesn't make anybody uncomfortable. It's not loud, it's not heavy. It's not too sugary, it's not too sweet. It's a perfect notes, perfect fragrance, and I wear this perfume on my day-to-day, you know. Right now it's really my perfume, so let's spray a little bit. Oh my, it smells so good. This perfume smells so good. I love Diorissimo. This is so elegant. It's like, you know, oh my god, it's so elegant. I love this perfume, you know. If you wear this perfume, you know, people are going to follow you in the street. If I cross a woman wearing this perfume in Paris, I'm gonna follow this woman just because she smells good. I also used to, believe me or not, I spray this perfume on my mask, you know, my face mask. I like to put perfume because unfortunately in Paris it's not smelling super good. especially if you take the underground, even sometimes it's not smelling good. So what I do, I love this perfume so much that I spray this perfume on my mask, and it makes my day. This perfume really transforms my day, makes me really happy. It's really, I think it's joy in a bottle. It's really joy, femininity, joy, elegance in a bottle. So the top notes, you're gonna find a little bit of green leaves and bergamot. But what's super present for me and on my skin, it's really Lily of the Valley. Really in the middle notes, the Lily of the Valley, the lilac, the jasmine, the lily, the ylang ylang. I love ylang ylang. Ylang ylang is also very feminine, very refined. What I used to do, for example, in my place in Paris, I put some small drops of ylang ylang essential oil in the room, and it smells divine. I always get compliments from my friends when they come here. They think it's the flowers, but in fact it's the ylang ylang essential oil. And you can also smell the ylang ylang combined with the Lily of the Valley. It's divine. It's really, really divine. And believe me, if someone is smelling that in the streets, it's gonna follow you. So hopefully for you, someone nice. But believe me, if I really find a woman and she's, you know, she's passing through next to me with this perfume on her, I just want to follow her. It smells super, super good. You're gonna smell also probably a little bit of rosemary, and the base note a little bit animalic. That's why it makes this perfume so a little bit more intense. And probably more intense than my Van Cleef actually, because there is a little bit of civet. So civet, it's a very animalic ingredient, but it's still a synthetic civet. It's not the true civet from a vintage version. That's why I'm also super interested to buy the vintage version, a true version of this perfume from the 50s. Just because if there is really civet, you know, the true version of the civet in the base, this perfume is just a magnet. This perfume for me is very, very attractive. The new version is super attractive for me, but I can't imagine a vintage version. So probably if I buy a not expensive vintage version of this one, I will probably make a review just to compare the two. But anyway, you know, the modern version, it's a beautiful, beautiful perfume. And you're gonna also find a little bit of woody notes, which makes more, give more intensity to the perfume. So probably a sandalwood notes. But this perfume is, I can't describe to you. I can't describe to you, but you know, this is really a treasure. And it's not, you know, the most famous of Christian Dior perfume, of Dior perfume, but for me this perfume is probably my favorite of all Christian Dior perfume. I smell Dolce Vita, I smell Escalade Portofino, which is also a very good one. So it's really a simple perfume, and at the same time, because they're simple, you know, simple flowers, but very luxurious, very elegant. I really recommend Diorissimo by Dior. This is really a beautiful, beautiful perfume. You can't really go wrong with this one. For the next one, we are still in the Dior family, Dior, Christian Dior perfume. And I was really interested also to compare two different versions, so the vintage version and the new modern version, because this perfume has got many transformation, many variation, different ingredients. This is also an iconic perfume, maybe the most iconic Christian Dior perfume, because first it was probably also the first Christian Dior perfume. And yeah, I got from many different versions. So I was super interested also to compare the new version against the vintage version. So maybe if we're gonna start with the really vintage version, so the perfume is Miss Dior by Christian Dior. Beautiful miniature, beautiful small version. This is an eau de toilette, version. There's also the eau de parfum, but I got the eau de toilette, which is also the original version for this one. And this perfume has been launched in 1947. This is the first perfume of the Christian Dior house, of the Christian Dior family, to be honest. And the particularity, I mean the specificity of this perfume is that Miss Dior is really built around one, I'm gonna say one main note is the narcissus, so narcissus flower. This is also a white flower, but this is a little bit more dry than Lily of the Valley or Jasmine or Ylang Ylang. A little bit more dry, like probably in the same vein than Orchid, for example. Orchid, which is also a main ingredient of Houbigant, Quelques Fleurs by Houbigant. Orchid is really into this beautiful perfume, but this one, Miss Dior, it's more Narcisse. So I'm super interested to smell this one. This is a beautiful, by the way, Chypre perfume. So you're gonna smell different type of notes, green, floral notes, and built around the narcisse flowers. So let's start to try this one. So that's why I'm super interested to smell and start with the original version. Yeah, this is definitely a vintage perfume. It's very distinctive. It's a very distinctive fragrance. Definitely a Chypre because I smell first the green and the woody notes, and the floral notes are more probably in the back. Okay, if you love Chypre perfume, Miss Dior, l'original is very good Chypre. So, yeah, it's a very aromatic, earthy Chypre. And yeah, it's so distinctive. I really smell the narcisse. The narcisse flower is a very, very distinctive fragrance. Very, very original, very different than some typical flower you can smell usually. Very, very different. So the top notes are we are very much in the 50s. So I can smell the aldehyde, which was very trendy at that time. You know, aldehyde was really also the main ingredient or the signature of Coco Chanel perfume. It's really the signature, for example, in number 5. But Christian Dior was probably inspired by the aldehyde and powdery smell. So in the top notes, you're gonna smell aldehyde, galbanum, clarissage. I smell the sage, which makes this perfume so different. The gardenia, the bergamot. I smell in the middle notes of the narcissus is super present in the middle notes. The iris, the carnation. I smell a little bit of Lily of the Valley. You know that Christian Dior used to love Lily of the Valley, so there is Lily of the Valley in the middle notes. I smell orris fruits, I smell the jasmine, I smell rose, and I smell also neroli. To be honest with you, I really like Christian Dior, Miss Dior. I really like the original version. There's a lot of character, it's remind me a little bit of Loulou of Cacharel, to be honest with you. It's completely different, but there's something that, I don't know. I really like this one. I really love the original version, this vintage powdery smell that I really love. And in the base of this perfume, I smell the oak moss, the liver. So there is liver in this perfume and it gives a lot of intensity to this one. Vetiver, patchouli, a little bit of sandalwood and amber. I really like Miss Dior l'original, to be honest with you. It's super you know, there is this powdery smell I love from vintage perfume. There's different kind of, you know, notes that I really love. I really love Lily of the Valley. Narcissus, it's really interesting flower. The notes are completely different, but it's combined with different also other flowers. The rose, the neroli, it's a very intense perfume. And at the same time, there's something, it's a beautiful chypre. Because it's not too sweet. It's not too sweet. It's a very, very intense eau de toilette. And very vintage. I really like this vintage version, to be honest. Also, it might be my next purchase, to be honest with you. You know, La Nuit de Paco Rabanne, definitely. Definitely I want to buy a vintage version of this one. But Christian Dior Miss Dior original, it's a beautiful chypre. And really, totally my type, the type of perfume I like. Totally the type of chypre I really love. It's really such a classic, iconic Christian Dior perfume I strongly recommend you. Okay, so now this is another version of Miss Dior, and to be honest with you, this is the first version I bought. I was looking for a perfume since I came back to Paris. I was looking for something I can wear day to day. I was looking for a very floral perfume, you know, very feminine, very floral, a little bit more sweet than something I used to wear as usual. And you know, I was into a small perfumery in Paris, and I tried different perfume, and I decided to go to this version of Miss Dior. So this is a recent version of Miss Dior. So yeah, this is this one. So it's a very beautiful bottle. You should see the notes here. You know, the tie on the cap. It's a very beautiful, very sweet, very floral, very feminine perfume. And this version has been launched in 2012, so it's a more modern version, I'm gonna say. But it's a very blossoming floral perfume, okay? We are very into a floral perfume. There's a blend of different perfume. It's a very blossoming version, and this one has different type of version. I think there's like at least 5 versions of this one. I went through the eau de parfum because I like, you know, I like intense perfume, long-lasting sillage perfume. And it's only flowers. This perfume is only flowers. It's a very feminine perfume, very feminine. So let's smell this one. So I still have the vintage version of Miss Dior, which is more chypre, more you know, more soapy, mossy perfume. And this one, it's really a modern version with more flowers, more really like more bouquet. I'm gonna say it's a more bouquet perfume. To be honest with you, it's completely different. In some, you know, in one way I have this explosion of flowers with a little bit of sweet, sugary in the back. But it smells so good. To be honest with you, it's a very beautiful flower perfume, and I got compliment from this one. I got a lot of compliments from men. And on the other side, I have a very mossy, soapy Narcissus vintage version. Completely different, but very beautiful version. 2 different versions and 2 elegant versions. So on the top note of this perfume, you're gonna smell more the Italian mandarin, the Italian tangerine. You're gonna smell a lot of rose and jasmine in the middle note. And you know, I love rose, I love white flowers. Jasmine smells so good. It's a very feminine flowers. And on the base, you have a little bit of patchouli and musk, which gives more intensity to this perfume. But this is a bouquet. This is like a flower bouquet into a bottle. And I love this one because this version is definitely more modern for me. There's no like vintage touch of vintage, you know, vintage notes. But I love this version too. This is very, very feminine, and to be honest with you, it smells very, very good. Very, very good. So beautiful bouquet, beautiful floral perfume. It's delicious, to be honest with you. It's delicioso, delicia, delicia. They said in Brazil, delicia. This one, it's very delicious. You want to eat this perfume alive. And the vintage version is different. It's a mossy, soapy touch with more neroli rose, and there's this powdery smell which I really like. It's different, and I like both. To be honest with you, I really like both, because in this difference, it's different, you know, it's very distinctive and very unique at the same time. So I really like both, and yeah, I really like these two versions I show you. I'm going to discover a more modern perfume, but I really love this perfume. And someone in the comments or someone on Instagram asked me to review this brand. She was really interested to review this brand, and the good news is that I own a few bottles of this brand. They are really, I'm gonna say they're really into the French Oriental side. There is French Oriental perfume, and this brand is a very luxury French Oriental brand. I really love this brand. I discovered this brand through André in Jacqueline Parfumerie in San Francisco. He really introduced me to the brand, to the company. And the perfume I'm going to show you, it really was probably the first perfume from Amouage I ever smelled. So the company is called Amouage. They are French, and they're really specialized into Oriental perfume. So they make very beautiful Oriental perfume, very luxury, very beautiful ingredients. And the perfume I'm going to show you is Honor by Amouage. So Amouage, they are very distinctive bottles, so most of the time, you know, they're very super distinctive. It's a very Oriental inspiration, but I really like this company, I really like this brand. I really also love Oriental perfume. Believe me or not, I'm really into Oriental. It's a taste I started to develop in Miami, to be honest with you. But it's also in my style, to be honest. I like Oriental perfume because they have something, you know, they have something very intense, very dark, which I love. And Amouage is a beautiful, beautiful company. They make beautiful French Oriental perfume. So what I like about this perfume is the signature of this perfume is the white flowers. There are white flowers in the middle note, and especially jasmine and lily of the valley. You're gonna find lily of the valley, but it's blended with the more oriental notes. You're gonna find pepper, rhubarb, and you're gonna find tuberose. Tuberose, it's a very, very oriental fragrance. So the two signature notes of this fragrance and the things I smell first are really tuberose and lily of the valley, and the two combined are very, very interesting. That's why I love this perfume, to be honest with you. So I love to wear this perfume when I don't work, because this perfume is very intense, you know, like most of the Oriental perfume. I wear most of the time Oriental perfume when I don't work, for a night, for a date. So usually I wear this perfume on the, you know, during the day, but when I don't work or if I stay at home. I also wear this perfume on a date during the week, for example, or, you know, if it's a casual night, casual date, I like to wear this one, but not at work, because it's a very intense Oriental. So let's pray. I smell a lot of perfume, you know, right now, and all of them are super intense. I still have the Paco Rabanne on my and on the other end I have this beautiful Christian Dior perfume. It's interesting. So let's spray this one. very good perfume. If you like oriental, if you like white flowers, this is a super interesting combination. And definitely it's intense, so don't overspray. Usually I spray only 2-3 sprays of this perfume because if I get heavy with my hand, it might be too loud. And it's a very beautiful oriental perfume. So the top notes are more very oriental, very spicy. You're gonna smell the rhubarb, you're gonna smell the pepper, you're gonna smell coriander. And the middle notes, we are really into the white flowers, which I love. You're gonna smell gardenia, you're gonna smell tuberose, jasmine, of course lily of the valley, which is my favorite flower, a little bit of carnation. And the base notes are very much intense and very much oriental, so you're gonna smell amber, incense, opoponax, tuberose, so you're gonna smell a lot of tuberose, vetiver, and a little bit of liver. I really love this perfume. I discovered this perfume probably 7 years ago. I didn't buy this perfume when Andre suggested me to smell it because, you know, it wasn't my taste at that time. I wasn't very much into oriental perfume, but since I was living in Miami, I really started to develop this kind of taste, especially after Boucheron. Boucheron perfume, you know, Boucheron by Boucheron, which is also one of my favorite perfume. My signature perfume is Boucheron. For me, it's a really French oriental. We are very into the oriental side. Maybe a little bit more like probably with these chypre green notes with Boucheron, soapy notes if you prefer. For me, it's an oriental perfume, definitely. So I really started to develop this taste for oriental, but I don't like loud, I don't like heavy oriental, I like very much feminine, very much French oriental, I'm gonna say. I don't like very much out in my perfume. So this one is a beautiful also night perfume. Beautiful night perfume if you're looking for something very feminine. More intense, you know, than Durissimo, for example. Durissimo have a lot of lily of the valley. But you know, there's no tuberose, there's not this oriental dark intense notes. This one is a beautiful night perfume, so I strongly recommend Amouage Honor by Amouage. It's a beautiful white flower. So the story of this perfume is super interesting. This is such a dramatic perfume. So this perfume, because it's a very intense, the white flowers are intense and the tuberose is intense, so it's not for every woman or everyone. But this perfume has been created, the nose behind this perfume was inspired by the story of Madame Butterfly. So if you love opera, you probably know Madame Butterfly opera by Puccini, which is also my favorite Italian opera. I love Puccini. I'm a big fan of Puccini, and Madame Butterfly is such a beautiful opera. So if you don't know the opera, I'm gonna just resume to you the story of Madame Butterfly. So Madame Butterfly is really a tragic love story. Okay, it's bad. It's a very bad ending for Madame Butterfly. She's a beautiful woman. She's a Japanese geisha, so very beautiful geisha, very beautiful. And she met an American soldier. His name is Pinkerton. And Pinkerton, you know, is a beautiful guy, but is also is not a serious one. You know, he likes a lot of women, and he plays a lot with Madame Butterfly hurts. Madame Butterfly fall in love with this beautiful soldier, but he doesn't really like Madame Butterfly. He's just using her, you know, he's just using her, and he wants to marry an American woman. He doesn't say why, but he prefers American woman, and he's just using Madame Butterfly because she's here, she's a beautiful geisha, and she's probably hot, maybe. And you know, why not using Madame Butterfly? And but Madame Butterfly, she's a really dedicated woman. Okay, like a woman who loves too much, who are very passionate, very intense. She fell in love and she dedicated her life to Pilkington. Pilkington left Japan to go to the war. She get pregnant, she has a child, and she decided to wait for the soldier. She decided after Pilkington, when he come back to Japan after the war. And something happened, during the war. Pilkington find another woman and he find a beautiful American one. And when he came back to Japan, he discovered his son, but he also discovered, also Madame Butterfly also discovered a new woman. She's been replaced by an American one. And she was, she waited for this guy, she was so in love. She refused few proposals, especially a very rich prince wanted to marry Madame Butterfly, and she said, no, I love Pilkington, I want to wait for his return. And when he returns, he just replaced Madame Butterfly. And the end of the story is that Madame Butterfly decided to commit suicide. So she decided to commit a suicide because it's a very tragic love story, and especially it's a beautiful opera, but very, very sad. And this perfume, the nose of this perfume really was inspired by Madame Butterfly. This perfume is really, it's a very dramatic perfume, I'm gonna say. Very, very feminine, but there's something super dark in this perfume, and it's probably the tuberose. So the love, the pure love is in the white flowers, because white flowers are pure love. It's innocence, purity, pure love. If someone is offering you white flower, it's a good sign. It's pure love. It's really purity. And the dark side, and probably this Pilkington, it's really into the tuberose, and it's a beautiful perfume for a beautiful, dramatic and passionate woman. So I really love this perfume, just because of this love story and the fact that this perfume was created inspired by Madame Butterfly's story. Amouage, but totally different and very interesting. Very, very interesting. And I think this perfume, it's either you love it or you hate it. But I find this perfume still interesting. And if you love cherry blossom and if you love amaretto, you're gonna love this perfume. So this perfume is Blossom Love by Amouage. So I got, I don't know if it's gonna, I got a small version of this one, of Blossom Love. First because, Amouage perfume are very expensive one, and, I wasn't sure if I really love this perfume or not. So I decided to buy a small version online. So I don't think my camera wants really to focus, but it's fine. So yeah, this perfume is super interesting because it's constructed around two signature notes, two signature ingredients, amaretto and cherry blossom. I love cherry. I recently discovered a very interesting perfume from Cartier called Délice. A video is coming about it. And also built around cherry blossom. So it's a very delicate ingredient. I really love it. Very, very sweet, but super interesting when it's into perfume. And this one, there's a, very interesting combination, amaretto and cherry blossom. So it smells a lot of almond. You're gonna smell a lot of almond and a lot of cherry. So some people can find it very synthetic, very chemical. I don't smell it super chemical because Amouage is a very luxury company, and most of the time they're not like, they put very good ingredients into the perfume. It's not super chemical. So I just find that it's either you love a perfume like that because it's very sweet, or you don't like it. So personally, I love this version. It's not something I will wear, But I find this version super interesting, and I think if someone really loves sweet perfume, you might find this perfume super interesting. So let's spray. So this perfume has been launched in 2004, so it's really a modern version. Yeah. So it's not my type of perfume, definitely, but I find the smell and the construction super interesting, and it's not something you smell, you know, every day. It's a very distinctive, very unique perfume. So the top notes are very spicy, very sweet. You're gonna find a blend of vanilla, almond, flowers, a little bit of powdery, fruity notes. On the base, you're gonna find some amber. The sherry is very present, so sherry and amaretto almond are super present. A little bit also a blend of yellow flowers, rose. I can understand that some people can find it chemical, but you know, Amouage is such a beautiful luxury brand. It's a very elegant, refined, they make very elegant, refined perfume. But I think, you know, amaretto and sherry are such a sweet fragrance, then it's very particular. But I wanted to review this perfume because this one is super interesting, super unique, super distinctive. It's definitely not something I will wear. I prefer, for example, the, you know, Délice by Cartier. I find Délice by Cartier very, you know, more elegant, chic, refined, and just because this perfume is discontinued, you know, just because of that. The bottle is super beautiful and it's a discontinued perfume, but it's something new, it's very different, and it's such a, you know, such original perfume that I wanted to review this one just of a pleasure to review a very distinctive perfume. So the last one is also an iconic perfume, and I discovered this one through some comments below. Someone mentioned this one into the comments and she told me, oh yeah, did you check this perfume? And she used to love this one. It's an old perfume, very iconic from Yves Saint Laurent, by the way. And I found this one super interesting, super elegant, super vintage. I also got a vintage version of this one. So the perfume is Rive Gauche by Yves Saint Laurent. Beautiful perfume. The small bottle is exactly like the big version, I'm gonna say. So it's a blue bottle, very characteristic. It only comes in eau de toilette, there's no eau de parfum version, but it's pretty much intense. It's a very long lasting, intense perfume, like most of the old, I'm gonna say, old perfume. So this perfume is a floral aldehyde, very earthy, very green, and there's also white flowers in this one. So this perfume has been created, launched in 1971, so it's a 70s perfume. And I really like, you know, also, I check also the advertising of this perfume. You know, how the perfume was marketed or selling, and you know, I think Yves Saint Laurent wanted to create a perfume that really represents the Rive Gauche. It's a very Parisian perfume, by the way. It's very Parisian. The Rive Gauche, you know, spirit, atmosphere. So the name of this perfume is Rive Gauche, which means, I translate, you know, left side of Paris. So, you know, if I translate, it's called left side, left side of Paris. So Paris, usually you divide Paris in two sides. You divide right side of Paris, we call Rive Droite, or left side of Paris. You have the Seine, and we divided Paris in two sides, the right side and the left side. I personally, I live in the right side of the Seine. I live on the right side, and I'm more a right side girl. Right side of Paris is more traditional, very big building, Haussmannian building. It's more old school, okay? So I'm more a right side girl. And the left side of Paris is more bohemian, artists. It's more an artistic atmosphere of Paris. So just to you know, just to give some, if you don't know Paris, you know, for example, on the right side of Paris, you have Neuilly, the 16th arrondissement. On the left side, you have the 7th arrondissement, les Invalides, le Bon Marché. So it's a more artistic, bohemian side of Paris. And on the right side, you have more the traditional, old school side. It's super interesting. And super interesting because, for example, Yves Saint Laurent used to have all his fashion, you know, fashion atelier. Really, the fashion house of Yves Saint Laurent was in the right side. It was in Alma Marceau, was very, very famous, and now you have the Yves Saint Laurent Museum. But I think Yves Saint Laurent wanted to create a perfume, like a more bohemian perfume. A perfume that really incarnates, really express the woman, the left side woman, the bohemian, Parisian chic woman. And yeah, one of the advertising of this perfume said, for example, le parfum des femmes imprévisibles. So this perfume is the perfume of the unpredictable woman. There's another, you know, other advertising said that this perfume is not a perfume for invisible women. And all the time there were women, you know, on the cafe, or the Paris cafe, they were like that, you know, sitting like that with this perfume. It's a super interesting perfume. I didn't know this one, to be honest with you, and I really like the combination of the aldehyde, the white flowers, but we are more into the Chypre family, I'm gonna say. And still there's this vintage powdery smell that I really love. So I think it's a beautiful, beautiful perfume. So let's smell this perfume together. Smell this perfume together. I don't know where to put. I have so many perfume right now. If I go out, I think people are gonna smell like so many perfume at the same time. It's a little bit crazy right now. At least I don't smell bad. Yeah. And I got also a version of a vintage version of this perfume, so it's super. It reminds me also a little bit of Loulou, of Cacharel, but it's a super interesting blend. So on the top notes, you're gonna smell aldehyde, green notes, honeysuckle, a little bit of honey. You're gonna smell bergamot, lemon, peach. Yeah, Yves Saint Laurent, he loves peach. It's also another ingredient you're gonna find on Ivresse or Champagne by Yves Saint Laurent, which is also one of my favorite perfume. In the middle notes, there are more flowers. You're gonna smell rose, iris, geranium. A little bit of ylang ylang, by the way, lily of the valley. That's why I like this perfume. But to be honest, on my skin, I smell more the earthy notes, to be honest. You're gonna smell jasmine, magnolia. You know, magnolia is not super common into perfume. A little bit of gardenia, and the base, I'm gonna say the base a little bit more traditional for Chypre. You're gonna smell oak moss, vetiver, sandalwood, amber, and tonka bean. That's why it reminds me a little bit of Loulou by Cacharel, because I know in Loulou there's a lot, you know, tonka bean. There's a lot of vanilla in this, in Loulou, combined with vetiver and some green notes. So it reminds me a little bit of Loulou by Cacharel. But it's a super interesting perfume, and the eau de toilette version is intense because, you know, it's an old perfume. Go also for the vintage version, I'm gonna say, probably because the vintage version is more intense, more long lasting. I like this one. So Rive Gauche by Yves Saint Laurent. Very good day perfume. Very good day perfume if you love Chypre. Earthy, I'm gonna say earthy white floral perfume. This one is a very good vintage old perfume, old school. And you know, Yves Saint Laurent really wanted to express the bohemian atmosphere, bohemian Parisian girl, a little bit of, you know, a little bit of artistic woman. So definitely a Parisian perfume. And probably something my mother used to wear also, my grandmother also. So I love this one. Beautiful perfume. So that's it for today. It was a long review, but I had such a beautiful perfume to show you. Yeah, I'm still waiting for a few perfumes from Cartier. But I can't wait to make this video because there's such a treasure from Cartier, very rare, very old perfume from Cartier. So I hope you love this video. I hope you might find a new vintage perfume. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to leave a comment if you also know this perfume, if you discover new perfume. I really love to read all your comments. So I can't wait to see you next week for another vintage perfume video. I wish you a very good day.